Today's podcast is brought to you by Audible.com. Get a free audiobook download at www.audibletrial.com/comedy podcast network. Over 100,000 titles to choose from for your iPhone, Android, Kindle, or MP3 player.
Hey there, everybody, and welcome to another sports podcast. I'm Joel Anderson.
I'm Jordan Pomaville.
And joining us, as always, is the sports outsider, Phil Ranta.
I'm way on the outside. Ball one. Haha. Baseball reference.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
That is a baseball reference, Phil. It's odd of you to use a sports reference.
Yeah, I've got the fever.
This is the first World Series after the Tigers, Jordan and I's favorite team, was swept in the World Series.
Yeah. I saw that.
You caught games this week, Phil?
Yeah,
this week you caught games?
really?
Well, I decided that it was time for me to finally study up. So I decided to watch this World Series of baseball.
You're kidding me.
No, I
Of
watched
all
the
days,
World Series.
This
of
is the
sports
one
to
thing
talk
we.
about.
Well,
the
I'm
one
a
thing we don't
proud
wanna talk
Michigan
about.
man.
You are.
Yeah.
So, and I heard the Detroit Tigers were playing the World Series this year, and I got the fever.
My heart hurts.
That's great. I really don't want to talk.
We really
about
don't
it,
want to
Phil.
talk about the
Well, you know what? I have so much information to share. Did you know that Pablo Sandoval, who's a player for the Giants, hit 3 home runs in one game?
Oh, we watched it.
Yeah.
Phil. We saw
Yeah,
it
he
happen.
did.
It was
That's-
like buzzer beater after buzzer beater. Just pop. Do-do-do-do-do-do.
Hit him.
Cracker Jacks here.
Hit him off of my personal baseball hero, Justin Verlander.
Yeah, he knocked that one way out of the park.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was a pretty good first game. It was exciting, right?
Well, not so much for us, you know, as
8-3
Tigers
laugher.
fans.
Yeah.
Yeah,
we
it was
did
3
not-
hours long. I was engaged the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
That's incredible, Phil. Actually,
Yeah.
You really usually don't do that, Phil.
I
It's
ate nachos and wore a backwards cap.
kind
and
of
went,
astonishing. Kind of
You got
astonishing that this is the one time that you've decided to actually follow sports. Is the time that Jordan and I don't want to.
Hey, guess what? Guess what, guys?
What?
What's that? Phil?
Free taco. America
Yeah.
steals a free
Oh,
taco. Because Angel Pagon stole a base, so we got a free taco.
A Doritos Locos taco. No
It
less.
was crazy. Did you get it?
No, I didn't. I didn't
No.
have it in me today.
Oh, really?
Would have tasted like shame.
Did
Well,
you?
to me, it tasted Loco, Doritos Locos. Did you know they have a Dorito shell?
Yeah.
That's crazy. Or as they say in Mexico, Loco. It was
That
a really
is-
good
that is-
taco.
It is. I've
Yeah.
tried it before. I
We're-
had to pay for it, of course.
We're
but
really thrilled that you had.
I
such good
cannot.
taco.
I cannot believe that this is your enthusiasm
Is,
pains me.
Did you
yeah.
know the Giants
It's like
won
a knife.
7 straight games?
Yeah.
I did.
Right near the
Uh-huh.
end of a season when
I
they're
know, it's-
playing good teams.
Yep.
Well,
Well-
I guess they're supposed to be good teams.
Okay.
Oh,
Phil,
They didn't
now
have
you're really twisting
Great
the knife.
showings, apparently.
Yeah.
I mean, it's supposed to be great.
All right.
All right. Well, can we move on? I think it's time for the Tim Tebow
Best of
update.
5
Okay.
NLDS. Won 3 straight games to
Yep.
beat the Reds.
Yeah, they did. That was pretty
It
remarkable.
was
to
a
come
pretty
back.
remarkable.
You know what?
comeback.
They're not just Giants in name. They're also Giants in spirit. Congratulations, Giants. Tigers, there's always next year.
Thanks,
If
Phil.
Detroit doesn't burn to the ground first.
Right.
Poverty.
Right.
Tim Tebow, update, watch, update.
Tim Tebow update, watch update, brought to you by Mentos.
Feel the rush in your mouth. I'm very old.
All right.
What's
That was a strange drop they sent
Yeah,
us this time.
I didn't like that
It was
one.
an old person eating a Mentos.
I
trying to
like
skew
the one
older
that
in the
was
demographic.
the aggressive one. The feel the rush in your mouth.
Yeah, that one was like the rapping granny that they have in every comedy movie where the grandma's like, I'm old, but I rap. Hip hop, a hibbit to the hip hop.
Yeah.
Ah, where's my walker?
Rapping grannies is one of those things that's just always funny.
Yeah.
Like you don't even have to work that hard.
I guarantee there's 10 improv teams all over America named Rapping Grannies.
Yep. Boxing nuns.
Yeah.
Boxing nuns are
Oh,
always funny.
that's actually
Yeah.
those puppets.
Don't even have to try. But so what's going on in Tebow land?
Jets lose 30
Jets
to 9.
lose.
To
Oh!
the Dolphins.
Tebow box score.
1 carry, 2 yards.
Okay.
All right.
Tim Tebow played 1 snap of football, you guys.
Oh.
And he still got a paycheck, I bet.
Well,
Yeah.
yes, they pay him weekly.
What a lucky guy. If only I
So
had to work that
his
little.
completion percentage in the season remains an unprecedented 100% through 7 games.
That is true. And oddly enough, we have an article here from ESPN.com.
Oh, what do they have to say?
Well, they're citing a Sports Illustrated article.
Wow.
Gotta love when they do that.
I did. I took a bit of it. I could have just went to the Sports Illustrated article.
Sure.
Printed that out. Brought that to the podcast. But I used the worldwide leader.
Smarter.
Yeah. Thank you. In any case, they did a poll of the players.
Mm-hmm.
They interviewed, let's see how many we got, 180 players. They voted. And they
Yep.
said 34%, a plurality, named Tim Tebow the most overrated player.
What?
Wow.
No.
Yes.
But he took a snap and ran 2 yards.
He did. Well, he gets a lot of attention, maybe disproportionate to how much he plays.
Sure.
Yeah. But oddly enough, tied for second, 8% overrated. Can you name him? Can you guess?
Babe Ruth.
Not alive.
Victoria
Overrated.
Jackson. Nora Dunn.
Horatio Sands.
Mark Sanchez, one of them, correct?
Mark Sanchez, the starting quarterback in New York, second place
Wow.
for most overrated. He was tied with Tony Romo, who, as you know,
Has
ribs.
delicious ribs.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Asterisk, episode 1.
Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah.
Wait, throwback there, folks.
Yeah. I've got these episodes memorized.
And they're on YouTube, everyone. So go back and listen to YouTube.
YouTube.com/comedypodnet.
Yeah. Hey, what was the tied vote getting for Romo and
8%.
8. Wow. So Tebow really ran away with
He
this one.
really ran away, and the smarmy ESPN article says at least Tebow's in front of Sanchez in one category.
Boo.
Meow.
Kitten's got claws.
You could say Tebow had to run away with this one because he certainly couldn't pass.
Hey,
Oh. But when he ran away with it, he only ran 2 yards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was the Tebow Update Watch Update, brought to you by Mentos.
I feel the rush in your mouth. I'm a baby. Wah, wah. T-Bone.
really don't.
It's a strange drop that
I know,
Mentos
it's
said.
a strange-
drop
A
they went with.
baby.
I wanted the aggressive advertising guy.
We'll ask
Hey,
for that next
do you
time.
like fresh breath? Do you like sports?
Do you like getting stuff crammed in your face?
I do. I hate to say this, guys. I do have to mention we did negotiate one hell of a contract with Mentos for the season. The Update Watch Update. We're actually getting $137.5 million.
Yeah.
Which is unfortunate because that is exactly what we now owe Alex Rodriguez. Because
I'm
of
sorry
Phil's,
I picked the mystery box.
Oh, God.
Asterisk episode 44.
Yes, you really screwed us on that one, Phil.
I apologize.
Are you aware that this guy is completely useless?
Yeah, but he's a
We
great
recorded-
drinking buddy.
We recorded 3 podcasts earlier today, all of them deleted by Alex Rodriguez.
He doesn't understand GarageBand.
He doesn't understand a lot of things, Phil.
Boo.
And $137.5 million. We were in the money because of the Mentos endorsement. And
He
now
let me ride on his jet skis, so I don't care.
I hope it was worth
He would.
$137.5 million because that's what we're going to pay him.
It was worth $138 million. I'm going to give him a tip.
All right.
Don't, whatever you do not give Alex Rodriguez
Come on,
any
he's a
more
fun
money than
guy.
we're going
Here's
to.
a tip. Try to catch up to a fastball.
Yes, our budget.
He would love that
Our
joke.
budget on the podcast was previously 0.
Yeah.
It became $137.5 million,
Mentos
and in one fell
is
swoop,
covering it.
I wanted to spend that money on something other than Alex Rodriguez.
Oh, look at you, Mr. Corporate Greed.
All right, what else?
Well, we got a
today?
big show today.
Yeah.
Okay.
We have San Francisco Giants outfielder Hunter Pence,
Yep.
spiritual leader of the team.
Joel Anderson doppelganger. A lot of people said
Yeah, you know what
he
he
does
is?
bear a striking resemblance to me.
As this is an audio show,
Yeah, so everyone can tell.
completely irrelevant.
And he wrote Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. Which is pretty great.
Yeah,
no, that's Hunter S. Thompson. He shot himself in the head. He
he
dead.
got blown out of a cannon.
yeah.
Did you hear about that? He had his ashes after he died loaded into a cannon and shot over Colorado.
Wow.
That's kind of cool. What
Pretty
kind of
cool.
Well, what kind of a cannon?
Old timey, I imagine.
Oh
That
man, that is
badass.
cool.
Yeah.
Right.
All
that
right,
one
so
down.
we have Hunter Pence who's on to talk about winning the World Series, which Joel and I
Can't
will
wait
get
to
over.
talk to him.
Yeah.
We have hey Phil, do we have a weird sport?
You're dang tootin' we do. Oh man, I can't wait for this one.
All right, and we're bringing back for today. What's more racist?
Ooh,
one of my
touchy.
favorite shows.
We're edgy.
Yeah, so we'll have that also on the show today.
Well, we should
All
get
right.
things started then.
Let's do it.
Let's roll.
All right. Phil has left per the new agreement with all of our guests that appear on the Sports podcast.
Yep. That one's been inked.
So joining us right now, San Francisco right fielder and World Series champion Hunter Pence.
Hey guys, I just got done partying. Hunter Pence, Hunter Pence, Hunter Pence.
We're not gonna chant that with you.
Well, no,
Oh
it's
man,
couple
we
of
just
Tigers
won
fans,
the World
Hunter.
Series. I still have
Yeah, I know.
champagne in my brow.
Yep, we can.
in your
yeah.
brow.
In my brow.
Is it
we were
sticky?
spraying champagne all over each other, and it's in my brow. Oh man,
It's great stuff.
Yeah.
Hunter, it is good to have you on the podcast. even
good to
though-
be with a couple of Giants fans.
Well,
that is not at all true.
Oh,
We're
yes,
Tigers
it's so
fans.
good. I can
We're
tell.
Tigers fans, actually.
I can tell. You guys
Bummed
look
out.
like you're from San Francisco with all your hipsterishness. Look at you guys.
No,
Sure.
that's we're not.
You know, I can appreciate, as a Tigers fan, I can appreciate what you guys did.
Yeah, you can.
played
We won.
exceptional.
First place.
Well, you already won first place. Now this is the World Championship.
Yeah.
So now you've won the World Series, and by the way, by playing outstanding baseball and really rallying together as a team.
Yeah, we did.
Even Joel and I can.
Can admit that.
Yeah,
yes.
I can too. We really rallied together and we won.
All right, so
Sweep.
So what are your plans now? You're on the top of the world. What's next?
Well, of course, we got to finish out the season now. It's time to finish this. What we started, we got to finish.
well,
I think you already did.
Yeah, you
Hunter.
won the World
You won the World
Series.
Series.
yeah,
That's-
we
that's-
won the World Series.
right.
Oh, we're on to the Universe Series now.
What?
It's time to stake our claim for San Francisco throughout all of the known and unknown universe.
There's a Universe
really?
Series.
Yeah, there's a universe. You don't know about the Universe Series?
They play baseball off.
Yeah. Okay.
Earth?
What happens when you win in high school the division champion?
Well, you go to regionals.
You go to regionals. What happens when you win regionals?
You go to states.
What happens when you win states?
Go to nationals.
What happens when you win nationals?
You get a lot of high school pussy.
Yeah, you do. I know. You go to the World Series.
Can we edit
of
that
the
out? I
league,
feel
right?
terrible for
no,
saying
you
that.
can't. What do you mean? This is
I'm
mine.
sorry, Hunter
All right,
Pence.
then you go to the World Series for Little League. After that, you go to Little League Universe Series, right?
Pretty sure
think-
you
I'm
don't.
pretty sure you're wrong about who.
Oh man, I've been watching nothing but tape of people from Nebular 5 playing baseball, and let me tell you, because they have 12 arms, they can pitch really fast.
How would 12 arms help you pitch
Yeah,
really
yeah.
fast?
Yeah,
trying to
because they've
picture
got
this.
all the other ones act as windmills that help them gain momentum, and then they just shoot it out
man.
from their beak.
Well, that sounds tremendously difficult.
They can get up to light speed with their pitches. I've got to learn how to swing a little faster.
Yes,
Yeah,
you do.
I don't know how
Yeah.
you could possibly, because I mean, in order for you to see the ball, light has to bounce off of
Yeah.
it. So if the ball is going faster than the speed of light, I don't know how you could possibly
Close your
hit it.
eyes and swing away, Joel. Close your eyes and swing away.
Ah, signs.
I can't wait
Okay.
to knock that one straight out of their ballpark, which, as we all know, is 5,000 parsecs large.
What is a parsec?
Yeah,
What's
this is-
a parsec is long.
Jesus.
It's
Well,
long.
This almost sounds like a different game.
Yeah,
Yeah,
well,
it's-
I've got good news.
What's that?
Well, we were supposed to go to the Galaxy series, but as you all know, there's no other known living entities in any of the rest of the tiny galaxy, so we gotta buy.
That's
Oh,
right.
wow.
That means that already the Giants won the Universe Series too.
Oh, you mean the Galaxy Series?
The Galaxy Series. Yeah, the Universe Series next. The Galaxy Series. Oh, man. I still have freeze-dried ice cream in my brow. Yeah.
So
that is
you know,
astonishing, Hunter.
It is.
I mean, until now, I did not know that there was intelligent life anywhere else in the universe, and now it not only is there intelligent life, but it plays baseball.
Yeah, you should see the shuttle bus we're taking up there.
shuttle bus.
Yeah, it's half shuttle, half bus. It's not a bus from which to shuttle us back and forth to places. No, it's a shuttle bus. It blasts off.
Is this private space travel? Are you going with the Russians or?
Oh, it's going to be private except for some of that alien tail we're going to have in there. Do you know that alien groupies actually have tails?
No, I did
We're
not.
not just getting tail. We're getting tail.
Wow, that Hunter, I actually find it a little disturbing. The interspecies. I don't know if this qualifies me as a
Oh,
bigot
someone's
or,
a prude. Look at the prude.
Yeah,
oh,
just not cool,
Oh, you're
Joel.
stepping out on your wife
pretty much
with another
stick
space
to having
being.
sex with people,
Like
and
you.
even then, not that often.
All right, are you telling me you wouldn't have had sex with a lady ET?
Yes, I can tell you that.
Well,
All
that's
right,
absolutely,
then you're
100%.
insane. If you have that opportunity with the little glowing finger, you want to know where to put it. You want to try some things out.
Hadn't actually thought about the
That's
glowing
got
finger, but
healing
it's still-
powers, man. It can rip you apart and then heal you in the same touch.
Wow. Okay.
Thank goodness.
Yeah. You know what? Another thing, I'm a little worried about playing the Universe Series because I can't help but notice not a lot of oxygen up there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would think that might be your first priority is determining how you're going to breathe while
Yes.
Yeah.
What's the atmosphere like at the stadium? And I don't mean the fans.
Right.
I mean
The first stadium we're playing on XPO 39, as we all know. Right?
think only you
XPO
knew
39 is a classic ballpark. They only serve old-style beer as well as plutonium rods for food. But they dip them in the best nacho cheese, man. And this is kind of scary. Do you know they only breathe helium there? There's no oxygen.
Well, that's it.
I've been breathing out of a balloon for the past week to practice. That's why my voice is scratchy. I actually usually sound pretty normal.
the last thing you want to hear is strike 3, you're out.
No, they have incredible deep voices. It's actually below the wave spectrums that our ear can hear. It actually can blow a man's head off when they bellow.
Even though they're breathing only helium.
Yeah.
I hope they don't bellow for your sake.
Right.
Yeah.
I hope
They
you have no
do.
loud out calls.
Well, that's the thing. They need to adjust a little bit for us in the Universe Series, so they're only allowed to cheer at their highest range, which is actually sounds a little like Barry White to us. And they can only
That sounds
chant,
unbelievable.
"Let's get it on."
Well, that doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't make any sense, but that's all
That's
they
a
know of
Marvin
human
Gaye
culture.
song. They can
Right.
only chant
But
like
they
Barry
do it
White
in Barry
singing a
White
Marvin Gaye
tones,
song.
singing Marvin Gaye songs. They can't do the high notes that Marvin Gaye does, or else
Yeah.
I'll literally be torn limb from limb.
Well, Hunter, it sounds like you have quite the ordeal ahead of you.
You really
You're
do.
telling me. Do you know how hard it is to steal a base in a vacuum? You run too hard. You just keep going.
Oh my goodness.
You just keep going. You try to slide into second base, you'll end up somewhere on Nebular 5, which, as we all know, is full of cannibals.
Oh no. Sounds
It's a prison colony.
Human cannibals. Who
Yeah,
will eat you.
human cannibals. That's where we sent them all in the 60s.
This is-
Universe Series!
So Hunter, after the Universe Series, then what? Time for some R&R, time for some, you know.
Then we got to play Heaven. Yeah. Do you know that we're also going to play a team called the Giants there, but they're actual angel giants?
Yeah.
It's very confusing. It's a Los Angeles team and a San Francisco team, both with the names. They're angel
Well,
giants.
One thing you can say, when you play Heaven, you will not have to face Ty Cobb.
No. He'll be screaming at us the whole time.
Actually, it makes me a little surprised that Heaven beat Hell in the
though. It was a great game.
yeah.
It was a great game, let me tell you. Did you know that Hitler, hell of a relief pitcher. Hell of a relief pitcher. Apparently, since he's been getting stabbed in the eyeballs for the past 50 years, and he's been fighting it off with his right arm going, get off of my eyes. He's been screaming that for so long and swatting. His arm got pretty buff.
Wow. That is Hunter, is there any chance that you living in San Francisco dropped acid prior to the recording of this interview?
Not more than usual.
Right.
Can't
okay.
wait for the rest of the season.
All
Okay,
right. I think we need to bring Phil back in.
All right, tune into the Universe Series in your mind's eye. Just meditate on it and you can watch the whole game. Commercial free.
Thanks again, Hunter Pence, our guest. Good luck in the Universe Series. I guess we're going to be pulling for you because you are representing us.
Woo! Go Giants! I knew you guys were my fans.
I guess in this case we are.
Yeah, this
Yeah,
time
there we
around
go.
we will be.
You
Thanks
suck,
again.
Nebular 5.
What's more racist? Oh!
Still the drop. Still the drop is the most
Nope,
racist.
Drop is not a part of the game.
All right.
Drop is not eligible for what's more racist.
That's a shame because it wins.
All right.
I feel like you're discriminating against the drop.
Oh, man, I'm excited for this What's More Racist.
All
Okay.
right.
Minneapolis Star-Tribune had an article recently. Headline, Timberwolves pale in comparison to the rest of the NBA.
Whoa.
It's a-
I don't know much about the Timberwolves, but I'm guessing it's because they're very albino.
It's a play on words. There are only 5 black players on the 15-man team. That's 33%. Well under the NBA average of 75%.
Whoa.
The NBA average is only 75%. Oh, Europeans. Right. Okay.
Currently 75. I believe it was as high as 78% per this article, but they had an article about it, and basically, Dante Cunningham, he's on the team.
He must be one of the white players, right?
No, he's Joel. Come on, don't be one of the what's more racist people.
Right. Sorry.
Yeah. In any case, he's on the team, and Twin City civil rights leaders have suggested the franchise is doing this strategically. How do we get a roster that resembles the 1955 Lakers, says Tyrone Terrell, chairman of St. Paul's African American Leadership Council. I think everything's a strategy. Nothing happens by happenstance. That strategy, Terrell and others in the black community believe, is to sell tickets to the Wolves fan base, which is overwhelmingly white.
Wow.
I have a few issues with their gripe here. First of all, I'm just going to go ahead and assume that the Timberwolves are the worst team in the NBA.
What?
Is that
Why do you make that assumption, Joel? Is it because they're white?
They have a bunch of white guys.
Oh,
okay,
man.
now who's being racist?
Jesus.
Hey, listen, I understand that's a little stereotypical, but at the same time, I'm probably right.
Basketball's in the heart, not in the skin, Joel.
Yeah, but I mean, it's a mere observation of a trend just to point out that
not the skin.
African Americans are typically much better players than non-African Americans.
Well, that's the thing also is
consistent.
in terms of diversity, they actually have players from Russia, Montenegro, Spain, and Puerto Rico. A total of 5 international players.
Well, there we go.
Among a group that also includes 5 white American players.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, I guess I am being a little racist, but I think it's also a case where, I mean, white American people just have not traditionally been particularly good basketball
This is
players.
my problem, is that I can't think of anybody who's a basketball fan who's like, man, I would watch a whole lot more basketball if there were more white people on the court.
Yep.
Like, nobody says that.
Ranta.
Nobody says that.
I'm glad you brought that up, Phil.
If you're a basketball fan, then you don't care about, you're not a racist person, right?
So what's more racist?
Well, you could be a racist and just overlook it in this particular instance, but generally speaking, yes.
What's more racist, this or the last team that was this white, the 1980s Boston Celtics? What's more racist? Current Minnesota Timberwolves.
Wait, what's the deal with the 1980s?
They were the whitest teams by percentages.
Okay.
This is the whitest teams.
1980s Boston Celtics, very good, running very specifically counter to my earlier assessment of white American basketball players. So there's counterpoint A to Joel's racist point earlier.
Also, what's more racist, this or the MLB not having any black players before Jackie Robinson?
I would say that's the most racist
would
because
go
that
with
was
the
institutionalized,
active segregation
right?
of
that seems like a
black
no-brainer.
players is more racist.
But I would say that the 80s Celtics is probably more racist than the Timberwolves now, because the 80s Celtics, in the 80s, there was still a whole lot of racism. I've seen
more
the movies.
racism. And when was that whole school busing thing in Boston?
That was in the 1970s.
Was that in the 70s?
I believe it was the mid to late 70s.
Yeah. So
that horrible
I feel
picture
like
that we've all seen in our textbooks.
Of them throwing bricks at school buses.
I was
That was in
referring
the
to one
80s?
of like a white dude that was holding an American flag, and like the top of the flag has that point on it, and he's like, "Yar!" at like an African American dude.
Oh wow!
Wait, he did the pirate noise?
Yar. Well, he was
way to be
yes.
full of class.
Yes, he did.
Yeah, it's pretty disturbing.
You would think institutional racism in the sports is maybe the most racist.
I would say
Yeah.
so.
Well, you'd be wrong, Phil.
What?
In 2010, a guy named Don Lewis, a Georgia-based boxing and wrestling promoter, tried to create the All-American Basketball Alliance. Tagline, Whites Only Basketball League.
What?
Yep.
Oh gosh.
Players were required to be U.S. citizens whose parents were of the Caucasian race. The initial roster of the league was intended to have teams in 12, guess it, southern cities.
Oh, this is a South thing?
This was in 2010.
This
guy
wasn't-
tried to get this league off the ground. He also hinted, he's a promoter.
Right.
He also hinted that when the league got started, he could do a reality show called Snowball versus a Bro Ball.
Oh, boo. That's most racist. That might be even more racist than the drop.
I'm going to go ahead and differ here.
What?
I think the institutionalized segregation of baseball prior to 1947 is more racist, and here's why. In that case, we're talking about players who are intentionally being held back despite the fact that they are elite and have earned their spot in Major League Baseball because of their ability. In this case, we're talking about segregating, but it's not separate but equal, like, Plessy versus Ferguson. In this case, it's separate, because it has to be, because the white players aren't good enough to play in the
I
good
see.
league.
So this is kind of like the Special Olympics of
The D
basketball.
League.
Exactly.
Basketball leagues.
So yeah, it's more like the Special Olympics. So definitely racist, but I would say less racist than not letting quality players play because of their race. This is we're not letting you play because you're too good. Well, actually, it's kind of the same thing, isn't it?
Well, let me tell you. Let me tell you what. I understand your argument logic.
Yeah.
But let me tell you what Don Lewis said about his league. He said he did not hate anyone of color, but he felt that white people should be given their own league to play, quote, fundamental basketball, which they like, instead of, quote, street ball. He said that is played by non-whites. He claimed that, quote, white basketball players are essentially shut out of conventional professional basketball due to proliferation of non-organized play on the court. He went on to cite Gilbert Arenas' suspension for bringing guns into the Washington Wizards locker room as an example of the way basketball was being run, commenting, "That's our culture today, and in a free country, we should have the right to move ourselves in a better direction."
Why do racists always
Think
start
it went
everything
back-
with like, I don't have
Think it went back-
have a problem with people who are white, but racism, racism, racism,
Yeah.
racism, racism.
Pretty damn racist.
So you couldn't just point out to him. I mean,
To their credit, the Southern cities where he was targeting, saying that he was going to play,
Yeah.
like the mayors and city councils of all those places said, no, absolutely not.
Absolutely
Yeah.
not.
Atlanta was one of them. No. Chattanooga was one of them. No, sir.
Does he understand that he's saying he has nothing against black people, but he's rather specifically drawing certain cultural stereotypes here with the way that he's being exclusionary.
And saying horrible racist things.
Horrible racist things. I'm still going to have to go with baseball prior to 1947 was more racist.
Yes, I agree.
I just can't. I mean, as bad as this is, at the same time, it's...
Oh, wait, no, I disagree. Sorry, I got confused. That dude is the most racist.
No, but see, it's hard for me to call it more racist because most people, this didn't get off the ground. Most people don't
That's
care.
true. It did not, yeah.
Like
Yeah.
this guy is clearly, like, it's hard for, I guess he is more racist in his own special little way, but it's a special way because it's like the Special Olympics
Special
of basketball.
racism.
Yeah.
All right, last one, old school Aunt Jemima ads.
Oh.
Those
Still hold the
I
title,
would
I'm
say,
pretty sure.
Yeah, I would say that's the most.
Even
that's
more
about as
racist
as
than
it can
active
get, yeah.
segregation, yes.
Yeah.
And that was, what's more racist? Oh!
For you, the listeners of Sports Podcast, Audible is offering a free audiobook download with a free 30-day trial to give you the opportunity to check out their service. I personally recommend a wonderful book called The Hunger Games by Suzanne Collins. Joel saw the movie. He said that it was okay. To download your free audiobook today, go to audibletrial.com/comedy podcast network. Again, that's audibletrial.com/comedy podcast network for your free audiobook. And now it's time for another Weird Sports! Weird Sports.
I wish you could see the face you make when you say, and
Yeah.
now it's time for another.
You know what's fun? We passed our 1-year anniversary on Sports Podcast about a month back.
Which we forgot to commemorate.
We
in
forgot
any
to
way, shape, or
commemorate.
I bring
form.
in paper every damn week.
Right, but you haven't given it to me yet, so it doesn't count. But I found out, I listened to the first episode again. I started doing that because it was Halloween was coming up, and that's why I started doing those
Yeah,
spooky
that's
Weird
right.
Sports. And it's been a whole full year that I've been doing Weird Sports that way because of it.
Oh,
and now
wow.
Halloween is back around again.
So this is
More
once
relevant than ever.
More
once
relevant
again
than ever.
topical.
Yes, absolutely.
We've topicaled our way right back into being topical.
Yes. And speaking of topical, today's weird sport, canoe polo.
Ooh, I think I already know mostly how this is played.
No, that's bull.
I, on the other hand, am completely clueless and full of questions.
In that case, we should continue.
Well, let me guess. You take a kayak.
Canoe polo, also called kayak polo in some countries.
Oops.
Go on, Joel.
So I guess it's all right. And
No,
then,
you're so
you were-
smart. Go on.
you were
well-
doing a bit, and then it backfired on you.
Backfired.
Yeah. So keep going, Joel.
There's probably a ball, and you paddle up to it and whack it with your paddle. Try to hit into a goal.
All right. It's a competitive ball sport played on water in a defined field. They put field in quotes, which means they call the water a field.
Yeah, you can't call it a field.
Well, they do.
It's not a field. A
field
field is
of
a
play.
Field is
Yeah,
land.
a field
Well, I
of
guess
play. Like
field
a
of
force
play.
field isn't a field, Joel.
Touche. Point
Yeah,
taken.
you're full of wrong things, Joel. You're full of wrong things. It's between 2 teams of 5 players. Each player in a kayak.
Is this in the field of play? Are we talking natural bodies of water or man-made bodies of water?
We'll get to that very soon.
Wait.
Alright.
So it's in a kayak. So it's not canoe polo. It's kayak polo.
Also called
Yeah,
kayak.
but canoe and a kayak are actually very close. They're very similar. Well, this one isn't a kayak because they've just got the little hole where you drop yourself in, right? So you
Yeah.
don't fall out easily. So yeah, I guess it's a kayak.
Seems like a canoe would be more challenging.
They probably started as a canoe, and then they got into the Mountain Dew ads.
yeah,
and they're
they
like,
got
Kayak. Kayak is like, a more athletic thing because it's closer. You can probably maneuver it
Yeah,
quicker.
probably more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The object of the game is to get the ball into the opponent's goal. The team scoring the most goals in a set time is the winner.
Ooh.
I follow.
Yeah,
This
that's
makes
good.
infinitely more sense
This
than
part
cricket.
of the rules.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. The game is played in many countries on all continents. All continents, they say, including Antarctica, I guess. No, they just said all continents, but I think they're wrong. I think 6 continents.
I think
Maybe 5.
kayaking in Antarctica, a little tough, kind of cold.
Yeah.
I agree.
Now, is it the locals playing this, or is it people have gone places and played
It's
this?
the International Canoe Federation that puts all of this together. It was in 2005 was when they did the first World Games in Duisburg, Germany, under the
How is
patronage.
Germany, where you have the canoe anything championship.
Oh, because they've got the River Rhine.
Yes. Okay, I guess. Is that near Duisburg? Wait a second. Duisburg.
Yeah. But it was under the patronage of the International Olympic Committee.
What?
Yeah,
The
they shelled out
IOC is
for
just
it.
looking for other stupid sports.
They're
to do.
laundering money, is what they're
Jeez.
doing. They're putting on competition events to
That's
launder
true.
money.
It makes sense. The game is often described as a combination of water polo, basketball, and kayaking. Go figure. The tactics and playing of the game
Wait a
are
second.
not...
Where does basketball fit in there?
I was about to say it, Joel.
Okay, fine, go
You're
ahead.
so off today. Why are you so off today?
I want to hear.
The tactics and playing of the game are not unlike basketball or water polo, but with the added complexity of the boats, which can be used to tackle an opposition player in possession with the ball, or jostle for position within 6 meters of the goal.
How do you tackle?
Oh,
You
let
whack them
me
with
get-
your
yeah.
canoe.
They don't go into tackling too much, but the way that I saw a YouTube clip of it, and they kind of like ride their boat up on another person's boat and like dunk the front of it.
That's
Officially
awesome.
a totally
Pretty cool.
awesome sport.
It's pretty
Joel's
cool.
completely behind canoe.
Joel's
kayak
completely
polo.
speaking in third person. The ball, which is a water polo ball, is passed from between players using hands or paddles. So it's kind of like basketball, right? They're like,
Oh, okay. So you actually hold on to it. Oh,
Actually
okay.
hold on to it.
That's why it's like basketball.
Yep. A player in possession of the ball can be hand tackled by being pushed over on the shoulder or back, and or kayak tackled by an opposition member. They can just grab you and dunk you underwater. Nice. Flip of the boat. And then they squeeze in on both sides so your head's underwater and you're like, I can't flip my kayak. Very dangerous game.
Do people drown?
No. Players may only have the ball in their possession for a maximum of 5 seconds. Players can dribble the ball by positioning the ball 1 meter or more ahead of themselves or sideways into the water.
Okay.
So that's how they can move around.
All right.
Yeah, that's a fact. Most of the rules concern the safety of the players involved. Boo. For example, illegal substitution and entry into the playing area, illegal use of the paddle, illegal action against a capsized player, illegal jostle, or illegal screening.
What is an illegal action against a capsized player?
I think that means holding them underwater. That's probably the illegal. If they start making choke noises under the water, then that's illegal.
It's one of those things where water polo is a very violent game because anything
A lot of
that
people
goes
don't
on,
realize just how violent.
well, people,
water
you know,
polo is.
what goes on underwater, it stays underwater.
Right.
You know, like the refs generally
underwater
don't see.
is like Vegas.
A lot like Vegas. So that's why I see that they have to put a lot of rules in. These are probably, I imagine, water polo players who are trying something new.
Right.
And they want to keep the violence of their sport.
And now they have paddles. They've
And
got
now-
gigantic sticks.
now you've given them a weapon and a boat.
Right, exactly. They are trying to. This is like you get a penalty for attempted murder, essentially.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad there's a penalty for that.
Yeah. Penalties can include a goal or sideline throws or free shots or goal penalty shots or penalty cards. You just yawned when I said that. You're
well,
so
I'm
bored.
like penalty cards. I'm like, psh, whatever.
Yellow card for trying to kill a human being.
Right. You know, in real sports, they just throw you out.
Yeah.
Fake ones, they show you a colored card.
In order to do it.
This is a warning. I am very angry with you.
Oh,
Yellow.
my feelings are hurt.
I am going to write your name down in a book.
Substitutions can be made at any time during the game without notifying the referee. The player and all their equipment must be behind the goal line before another player can come on. So one person paddles out, another one paddles on. Seamless.
Wow.
Well, like hockey.
Yeah. It's pretty awesome. An illegal substitution, which means that one person was not, there was two people, on the, like too many men on the field, right?
Yeah.
That in the oncoming player, it could cause them being yellow carded, the oncoming player. Or if it's unclear, the captain will nominate a player who gets a 2-minute send-off. And the team plays with one less player.
Oh, man.
I like the idea if they're playing in a river of a send-off, just being like, sorry, you're out of here. Bye.
They just start floating downriver.
Yeah.
So do they play in a pool or in
Canoe polo is either played indoors in swimming pools or outdoors in a pitch, which should measure 35 meters by 23 meters. So you can just rope off part of lake.
Yeah.
Play that way.
Because I imagine currents would become a major issue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
like
true.
you couldn't play in a river because then one team would have a huge advantage.
Well, then they'd have to switch through halfway through, which all games are about 20 minutes long.
That's not a very long game.
Each half is 7 to 10 minutes.
Well, it's a strenuous thing to do.
Yeah. I can imagine that you get a lot of play in that 10 minutes. A lot. Stop yawning. Why is everyone so bored by weird sports
I'm
this
not
week?
bored by years. I'm just tired.
Oh, the goal is measuring 1 meter high by 1.5 meters wide. It's a frame with a net suspended 2 meters above the
bullseye
water.
Womp Rat's the same size as that.
Oh, no, you didn't. Disney just bought Star Wars. Now they're making episode 7.
Ooh.
I know.
Ew.
Weird, right?
Ew.
George Lucas is not going to be directing or writing. He's handing it
Oh,
off.
so it might be good.
Yeah. Speaking of Womp Rats. But now, speaking of canoe polo. It's 2 meters above the water. So a player acting as the goalie defends the goal with their paddle by sticking it up vertically. Yep.
That is
like,
awesome.
hey, stop it, you
It's gotta be my
guys.
favorite.
That seems very reasonable.
It's just a guy waving a paddle.
Yeah, absolutely. There's 2 referees, one on each sideline, and they're on foot, not in the boats. The score is kept by the scorekeeper, and the time is kept by the timekeeper.
Wait, can you explain that again?
Okay, the scorekeeper says how many points they have, right?
Right.
Okay, they tally it in a notebook or maybe on a big board. The timekeeper keeps the time, as in they have a little stopwatch or they're looking at a giant clock.
Okay, so wait, is the timekeeper is responsible for keeping track of the score?
Joel, you're not getting this, and you should be. The scorekeeper keeps track of the score. The timekeeper keeps track of the time. The players.
So the scorekeeper keeps track of the time.
No, Joel! You're so dumb, Joel!
Is there anything else we can learn about this sport?
Yeah.
Oh, could you tell us about what more we could learn from this sport?
You betcha. The team change ends with each half-time period. It's 1 to 3 minutes long. You get a little breather. You get to have some Evian waters, some grapes, orange slices.
Good idea.
Get back in there. Each half begins with a sprint where each team lines up against the goal line and the ball is thrown into the middle of the pitch by the referee.
Oh, I like that.
One player from each team sprints to win possession of the ball. Paddle, 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 paddle. Dunk your boat, grab the ball, chuck it in.
Sounds like there'd be ramming involved.
Oh, God. It's no longer made for the locker room. It's also part of the sport. Oh, that's a weird way to end it, but I'm going to anyways. That comes to an end another Weird Sports
Citizens of podcast land, this brings us to the end of another sports podcast. Before we go, we'd like to give you our contact information.
You can email us at sportspodcast@gmail.com. That's sportspodcast@gmail.com. You can tweet at us at sports3podcast. That's sports3 podcast. You can find us on Facebook by searching Sports Podcast. Your little top bar thingy will pop up. You can find us on Stitcher Radio. Download the Stitcher app today and search Sports Podcast. We're there. You can find us on iTunes by searching Sports3 Space Podcast. That's Sports3, all one word, Space Podcast. While you're there, why don't you rate and review? Why don't you? Hey, you can find us on YouTube by searching or by going to youtube.com/comedypodnet. A lot of our back episodes are there. We just posted them over the last couple days, so all of our back catalog is there. So while you're there, like it, subscribe, have some fun, enjoy yourselves. Or you can find all of our back episodes at comedypodcastnetwork.com, along with other great podcasts, including Curtain Jerks, our sister podcast. Funny because it's true. True stories told hilariously. Japanatron, stories of an American person in Japan. Come to Your Senses, Carlos Jaime reviewing new trailers along with comedians. The Fort Podcast, which is popular comedians of today and yesteryear doing sketch comedy along with conversation. Or you can check out all of the back episodes of the Second Column Podcast, which is also quite funny.
That's too many podcasts.
Yeah.
I was seeing if I could plug literally everything.
Well, you did.
Yeah.
I did good.
I was about to say, I keep waiting for the podcast where Phil forgets one of the things, and like our Twitter account instantly crashes because Phil didn't mention it, but it never happens. Phil
Got a lot of new
them.
followers on Twitter this week.
We do.
You guys must have posted something funny, because Lord knows I don't post any funny sports stuff.
We posted funny things.
There are some things
There were
on
some
there.
funny things on Twitter.
Just got to remind people they can check out our future episodes in their mind's eye.
Look into the mind's eye.
You guys drank some of Hunter Pence's Kool-Aid, didn't you?
Yeah, we did. Hunter's back.
crap.
Oh,
Okay.
man. Look
All
at
right.
the universe.
Folks at home, I got to take care of something here. Lights off.
You have received this transmission from the Comedy Podcast Network. For more shows, visit comedypodcastnetwork.com.